Hey there, traveler. Thank you for taking a moment to be here in this space with me. Wherever you might be at, I'm happy that we can share it together. As you walk through the garden, you make your way and you sit underneath a grove of willow and fig trees, swaying in the gentle breeze at the beginning of the dog days of summer. You hear the cicadas, the crickets chirping, making their calls, searching out for each other, trying to find love and companionship, continuing their cyclic existence. In that experience, you find humor in the abstract, noticing how you are surrounded by sounds, different courses of nature, and you can't see any different signs of life. That is until Crip comes up and hops upon you and says hello. You take a moment to observe it, seeing its horns, its green and brown shade colors, striking shape, almost mechanical at the joints. As you're taking the time to continue to take in around you, you prepare some incense. You take a moment to light them and give offering and give thanks to all who those come before, all ancestors that we can venerate in this moment. Specifically, any deities of choice, any bodhisattvas that you might wish. Avalokiteshvara. Love, compassion. Specifically, the ancestors who came before me, who brought me to this moment. And whoever has ever worked to end suffering for all beings, right? You take a moment to light those incense. You breathe in those smoke. And you take the time to let the deities begin to dance in the visions in front of your mind as the illusion begins to dissipate, as you contemplate the meanings of emptiness and what it means to be here in this present time. Some of the deities that you might contemplate and reflect on are deities of wisdom, someone who might be a parental, ancestral figure, bringing peace and warmth and comfort. Someone who was there to help bring your light into the world, help bring you understanding through trials and failures, and gave you the support and nurture and security to be present, to be here, that lineage teacher of how to survive in this abstract, crazy reality. You might take a moment to reflect on the deity of the garden itself. The place that we call here, the world has so many different names. Whether it be Gaia, the garden, Earth, Terra. In the end, it's this very messy thing that somehow seems to be so neat and organized. The more interconnected we understand it, the closer you look at it, actually. There's this very complex web of things connected into each other, and everything has its place and its order, and its changes and these causes and conditions to bring forth the present moment. For me personally, it's something that I often do refer to as a plant. In my mind, something that looks like a little banyan tree growing its roots down deep into the earth, stretching up deep into the cosmos, taking that moment to be both here and present, rooted and tall, messy and organized, a host of life, and a source of refuge. Another deity itself that you might look to are the blooms of that tree or the plant. something that is dependent on it, something that comes from it, but it's separate in its own part of it. This part of it's a lot more floating and fleeting, only is observed in the right causes and conditions and at the right times. Taking a moment to give its beauty and illumination to the world in whatever its role it might be. Another deity that you might look to that is just as fleeting in some ways, but as everlasting, is of decay. It comes for both the blooms and the plant itself. It takes away, so new causes and conditions can come forth. Sometimes in a very brutal, wrathful way, where a plant can just be fallen out. Sometimes in a cold and angry way, where the skeletons of giants remain for eons. But this allows for the rebirth of something new. That wrath and that decay doesn't have to be out of malice and spite or hate or a negative intention or mean, but as a tool and use to honestly and hopefully contemplate what is emptiness and do it in a way of compassion. The wrathful forms of these deities, of the dakinis or whatever beings, are just as an act of love and compassion. Do with respect and veneration, right? Acknowledgement. Care. It's from those wrathful deities that you get the contemplations of peaceful deities. Beings of seeds. Calling these causes and conditions to take root and bring stability to that hollowed earth. To bring forth new plants and new gardens. A place to find comfort. A place in the shade to find rest and respite. And in those deities you find compassion. Again, a warm, radiant, powerful, all-encompassing deity if you allow it to be. Taking time to reflect on the observations around you and how they observe you, and maybe following that golden rule and ideally treating everything with the compassion and love it deserves. As you learn how to treat yourself with the love and compassion you deserve. Taking time to understand the natural conclusion of that principle and that love brings us to this week's question of the week. What do you love most about yourself? Personally, for me, this is a hard one. Because I don't want to come off vain. I get insecure about that stuff. I spend all my time trying to make sure I'm taking care of others, that I struggle to learn how to take care of myself. I don't want to come off as some crazy, vain, self-diluted individual who's someone with moral compass, and I overthink it. And that goes about the complex relationship that I have to work through and actually learning how to love myself and actually being okay. So this actually, for me, does tend to be a very important question. And something that actually takes some meditation to get to, and is a very front, of course, answer at the same time. me, it goes back to a very core thing my grandpa once told me, that honestly was something we share in common with each other. He said that I'm a lifelong learner and someone who's always interested and curious and who just wants to understand and get better and take the time and effort to learn and be there. I try to take this approach to learn how to be here in the present moment and be the healthiest version of myself for theirs and others, and actually hopefully create sustainable change in this world and help, just my fellow person to learn how to be okay in this complex system of life. But it goes from everything. It goes from that childlike wonder of learning how the ocean works when I wanted to bring me a biologist as a little kid. That's why I still have my little stingray tattoo and everything like that. It's part of, one of my childhood heroes in Steve Irwin. Learning how to give compassion to really hard things and even that loss. Always learning. Always trying to learn. Taking it one step at a time. And sometimes I get really cocky and think I understand a little bit, not everything, but too much. I have to realize that it really does come down to so many different causes and conditions I don't know a whole lot. Learning how to be okay with that, and learning how to ask others for help and to learn from them and their answers, and to understand how to move forward and understand what answers are mine. When is something that is a truth for me? What is that actual relationship, and how do I be my own person in this system, in this world that we live in? And then at the same time, how do I learn how to be, the best farmer in Stardew Valley or some little silly game? How do I be the best partner, both in and out of the sheets, right? How do I learn how to be the best version of myself? What is this actual word? I think it's an actual curiosity, right? I can talk about it in a lot of different ways and a lot of different things that I like about myself, and it all comes from that curiosity and wanting to continue to learn. And I think that is a choice. I think that it's important to choose something that you love about yourself that's a choice. Because in reality, there's so much in life that we can't control, but how we choose to show up and what we choose to love about ourselves and these things that we make about ourselves, that's how we create our meaning, right? These, whether they're conscious or semi-conscious or subconscious, I don't know. I don't know if I chose to be curious, but over life and life's things, I didn't have to stay curious. Could have become so many different things. I could have chosen to, as I've changed so many different other parts of myself. Changed actually a lot of different things about me. And it's the point of growing and healing and dealing with things, right? But in each step of the ways, trying to understand and learn is always a part of it that I wanted to do. And even when it was hard and I really wanted it to sometimes feign ignorance, I was like, no, give me the answer. Let me show up for this and let me understand. Even when it was really hard and scary to do those things. And even still when it is. And who knows, maybe that'll change one day when my answer is no. I think that's the beauty in being able to figure out what each journey, each experience gets to be. So traveler, wherever you might be, thank you for sharing the space with me. Thank you for allowing me to give it to a little veneration to the ancestors as they make their noise come in all the different ways that you need them to manifest, whether it be a loved one, whatever higher power you understand that to be, whatever system or science or belief that helps bring a little bit more compassion, right? Take the time to think, what do you love most about yourself? Because you are an individual, always worthy of compassion and love. Thank you very much.
Stand outside. once more.